Well, we're down here in the swamp today, and wanted to do a video. Been thinking about it for a couple of days, and it's kind of like one of them emails, that you write and you put in the draft section to kind of think about whether or not you want to hit the big send button. And I've been pondering on this one for several days. I actually talked to the wife about it. So we go ahead and take a run at it, and seemed like a fitting place to do it. Several years ago on a blog, I wrote a thing called "Where's the Jesus in That?" And it was a story about how I decided a couple of days before Christmas I'd help my bride out and go to one of them great big stores that sells everything. And I was just trying to help out, not something I normally do. And I texted her, and she texted back, and she's like, "Hey, I got it. You don't need to do that." And I was like, "No, man, and so I'm feeling all the love, and and I go into the store, and it was literally horrible. I was just bombshelled by no eye contact. I mean, Jesus is the season and all that junk, and it was gone, man. Everybody was crazy and panicky, and you could feel and smell the anxiety in the air, and you could feel the hate. You really could. I wrote it. It did really well. I mean, I think it got hit about 164,000 times, I think, last time I checked, which was years ago. And people seem to resonate with that, and so what led me to this is probably that, right? And so it's a little different video than we normally do, but I think it needs to be said. And most people, I don't know, don't feel the need to say it or don't think about it. And so this seemed like the best place, and I'll get to why I think this is the best place for that video. So earlier in the week, I went to a baseball game. The youngest boy is our baseball player. I don't know much about baseball. I played a little bit when I was younger. I'm pretty confident I wasn't any good because I didn't play much after that. And so maybe baseball was too many bright lights and pretty green grass, and this is my baseball. I don't know, but it wasn't for me. And I've noticed since he's gotten into baseball, he's 17, and I kind of figured out where I need to be at baseball games, and that's usually at first base or third base, right outside the fence, by myself, focused on the boy, right? It's too much static for me, right? I just can't do it. I can do it, I just don't like it. And Dr. Mitchell and I wrote in one of the books, we came up with a series of things that people need to do when doing peer support. There's some big ass mosquitoes down there, that's why I keep getting them off my neck. And the number one thing that I figured out when you're responding to some type of trauma is just show up. That's the first thing you got to do. I figured that out with the boy in baseball. I just needed to show up. And I've tried to show up at his games. And I'm not saying I'm dad of the year, because I'm not. But I know that time is slipping by. I've driven halfway across the United States, left at 3 o'clock in the morning to get to that boy's baseball game. I've showed up on an hour's sleep to get to his baseball game. I've stood for a whole baseball game because I think if I sat, I'd fall asleep. And as I stand there and I watch and I listen and I try to focus on the boy, and I kind of think about the team, and I watch their mannerisms and how they all got their own little thing they do when they go up to bat, and trying to figure out which one's stressed and how they're dealing with it and all that, But I'm living in the moment, the moment of the red, white, and blue. And then I hear it. The negativity, the anger, the hate, yelling at an ump, yelling at a ref. I mean, I get it, but I can't see what he sees. And hell, he ain't the first guy or the first gal to make a bad call. And there's a guy out there. His job is the coach. The coach takes care of that. And I'd hate to be that ump to make that call. I really would. You know, I teach karate. We've got like 4 judges watching. We got an out, right? If we don't see the hit, we can do this. It means didn't see it. Baseball, I don't think they got that option, you know, I didn't see it. And they make a call. And then what really hurts me is when I hear the kids being nasty. And then the parents just let it slide. We had kids late in life. We'd been married for 10 years before we had kids. And I stood in front of the mirror when that first boy was born. I think I'm a good person. I said, but I need to be a better person because he's watching everything I do. I didn't cuss growing up. I didn't cuss until I got in law enforcement. And then boys come along, I quit. They learn that junk, they learn it from somebody else, not their daddy. But at a game this week, I saw so much anger and so much hate that when the game was over, I didn't wait for the boy at the dugout, our youngest son. I normally wait, and then I peel and burn. I didn't wait. I just left. And I told him why. Baseball was explained to me by a very good friend of mine who knows baseball. And he said, baseball is a game of failures. And that's what life is to me. It's learning how to work as a team. It's learning how to stay in your lane when you're so tempted to go right over there because you think you can fix it or you can make it better or whatever. And you got to stand your post. I think most of our sports, by design, by luck, by fault, it prepares us for life. It prepares us for the fall. It prepares us for the success. It prepares us for the confidence, the lack of confidence. We all come to baseball because we love our children and we want to support them. We come to all these sporting events because we love our children and we want to support their love of that sport. But when we step up to the plate as adults and we bring hate, they're watching that behavior and they think that's how it's done. And it ain't how it's done. That game bothered me so much that I felt the need to do this video. And it's a little different video than we normally do. Last year, for 21 days straight, I was in this swamp. Significant hog problem. And every day I would take a little peel through this swamp with my hip waders on. One day, I stumbled up on this baseball in the middle of this swamp. And at first I was like, God dang it, you know, mankind can't get away from mankind. And then it reminded me of the boy, the youngest boy. Reminded me of the love. Reminded me of us throwing a ball back and forth together. Reminded me of how hard he's tried to make contact with this ball. And now he's figured it out. He's learned about success and failure. He's learned about teamwork. But the greatest thing that he needs to learn is about love, not hate. The more hate we pour into it, the more we're divided. When we come together for a sporting event with our children, it doesn't matter what side you're on. It should be about the love of the children. It should be about the love of the game. It should be about supporting our children and showing them that love. If you look closely at this ball, it's been around the block, start to cut at the stitches. And that's what hate does. Hate cuts at us, tears our soul apart, makes it go one way, go the other way. And then ultimately at the end, Love doesn't win, hate wins. And I'm pretty confident most of us know where hate comes from. And that thing that creates hate wins. This is a different video, and I'm getting tore up by mosquitoes. But I hope it sits well with people. I know it's hard when you want to support your children, but they're watching us. They should be. We brought them into this world. We need to be guiding them. I hope it makes people take a step back and go, you know what? Yeah, it's about the love, not the hate. So, who am I today? I'm a guy that is so glad he found this baseball in this swamp a year ago. And I held on to it. Really glad. I'm also glad I'm able to stand at first and third, and most times I don't hear the static and I don't hear the noise, and I show up. I never clap for my boy. Y'all might think that's crazy. You don't feel a need to. You got enough pressure on him. I just show up. He looks over there, I'm standing there, supporting him. I don't yell at nobody. I just stand there and support him. So we run along on time. I'm running out of daylight. I hope y'all enjoy the pretty scenery. I had to bust a beaver dam up here so we could get a little fresh water running through to kind of make it, a good scene. But with all that being said, I really do hope you enjoy the video, and I hope that it resonates with some of you, and maybe it's just a way for us to kind of get back in check. And I think more than anything, we need to focus on the love and not the hate, and let our children know we don't need no more hate in this world, and we don't need to be any more divided. Nothing pleases me more when I see the teams join hands before or after a game. Both teams join hands in a circle. I don't know if they pray. I don't know if they just join in hands. But at the end of the day, it's a bunch of young men and women loving a sport, and we as parents, our job is just to love them and show up. Y'all have a great day.
1, 2.